Do you ever feel like the banks have a secret playbook that only they get to use?
Whoa, they do. And today we're cracking it open.
Cracking it open. It's open. So here's the reason banks push credit cards, savings accounts, and loans, but they never talk about this strategy called infinite banking.
And that's because if you knew how to do what they do, you wouldn't need them anymore. Plain and simple.
Exactly. So in this video, we are going to expose why banks don't want you to know about this concept called infinite banking and how you can use it for yourself so that you can take back control of your money. So let's spill the tea, Wealth Nation, because banks have spent centuries perfecting the art of making you dependent on them.
Remember that. Centuries. They got centuries head start in this strategy. So when you deposit your money, they pay you peanuts in interest. When you need a loan, they flip your own money back to you at sky high interest rates.
And
that's the ultimate money trap.
Sorry, I was really excited. And guess what? They use this tool to grow their wealth. They do it risk-free, and they've been doing it for centuries, right? But they never tell you about how you can do it the same way.
Now, here's the secret rule that banks never talk about is the fact that banks invest billions in something called bank-owned life insurance, aka the same strategy behind this concept of infinite banking.
And what this really means is they take their profits, they store them in whole life insurance policies, and their money grows tax-free. It earns guaranteed interest, and their money can be borrowed at any time.
So let me ask you this. If banks are using whole life insurance to build wealth, then why aren't they telling you to do the same thing?
Because if you learned about how to do this, Darius, they'd be threatened, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to make any more money.
Right. And that's the thing. They'll lose money. They'll lose money, and they can't be in the business of making money if they're losing it. They can't be in the business of losing money.
No. So let's talk about how infinite banking can work for you. So what I want to say first and foremost, before we go into this, infinite banking isn't a product. It's a process. It's a strategy. So we talk about using whole life insurance specifically, but it's how you use your whole life insurance policy, the process called infinite banking, that's going to allow you to borrow money from your policy. You pay it back with interest and all these things. It goes back and forth. And that's literally how the banks are doing it for themselves.
Right. So here's how this concept works is first, instead of you parking your cash in a savings account or all your cash in a savings account that pays nothing, you put it into a whole life insurance policy that builds cash value.
Yeah, you want to store your money in a specifically designed whole life insurance policy. The next step is your money is going to grow tax-free and it's going to earn guaranteed interest, right? While the banks are out gambling your deposits in risky investments, your money is stored very securely inside a whole life insurance policy, and your money is going to grow tax-free and earn guaranteed interest, like I said before.
So if you need capital, instead of begging a bank, you take out a loan from the insurance company on your own terms. There's no credit checks, no approvals, and no waiting period.
Absolutely. So let's talk about why the banks keep this a secret from you. And the very first point is, like I told Darius, they're going to lose control over your money, right? Banks make money from controlling the flow of money. If you started controlling your own flow of money, they lose control, which means they lose profits.
Right. So they have to keep this a secret. The second reason why they want to keep this a secret is because they can't profit off your loans anymore. When you borrow from the insurance company instead of the bank, they miss out on that interest payments, and that's billions of dollars out of their pockets.
And the third point is you keep the wealth within your family, not theirs. The banks love when you die with debt because you still got to pay all the money back, right? And that's the profit for them. When you use a life insurance policy, you're able to pass down your wealth because it's a life insurance product, and you're giving the money to your family instead of letting it build back up in the bank.
Right. Now, here's how you get started with this concept is the fact that step number one, you need to work with an expert. Not all life insurance policies work for this concept of infinite banking. You need a policy designed for cash growth, not just death benefit.
And you can holler at us because we know how to do this since we're telling you about it anyway. You just put it out there. So the second step is you actually have to buy a life insurance product. And if you know that the more you put into your life insurance product, there's more cash for it to build. And that's just more money for you to have in your vault. Like, let's just think of it as a vault, for example.
Yeah. And step number three is to borrow and invest wisely.
Wisely.
Once your policy builds cash value, you can borrow against it to fund investments, pay off debt, or start a business without the bank's approval.
Exactly. And step number 4 is you keep the cycle going and going and going. You borrow from the life insurance company, you repay the loan. You borrow from the life insurance company, you pay the loan back, and your money is going to keep growing inside the policy, and you're just going to continue to repeat the cycle. This is how the wealthy build generational wealth.
Right, because they then teach this to the next generation to borrow from within the family, and they pay the family back. Mm-hmm. This is it's the same exact thing that the banks are doing. We're just applying it on a smaller scale within your own family system.
Yeah. So let's talk about the myths, right? So this all sounds gravy. Let's talk about the myths. The very first myth is that whole life insurance is a bad investment.
Yeah. Whole life insurance is a bad investment. The thing is, this isn't about investing. It's not an investment. It's about creating a financial foundation that gives you control over your money.
And the point is a whole life insurance policy is life insurance. Mm-hmm. I keep going back to this is an investment. I can't tell you how many people keep telling you, oh, I'm going to invest. No, you're buying a life insurance policy. And when you have the life insurance policy, you're going to use the growth from the cash inside of it to make investments.
Yeah.
The second myth that we get all the time is that the wealthy can do it. It's only for the wealthy. And again, anybody can start. You just have to know how to start on your own scale with the pennies that you got. You ain't got to worry about what anybody else is doing. Just figure out what is your budget and how can you successfully contribute to a whole life insurance policy that isn't going to stretch you or put you in a financial bind.
And myth number 3 is it's too hard. It's too complicated. I can't do it.
I don't want to learn anything else.
I don't want to learn anything else.
I don't want to get out of this rat race.
So the thing is, you're already doing it. If you understand how banks use money, you can learn how to use this concept the exact same way, because it is the exact same strategy that they're using.
Yeah, because this is all about taking control, what we say, own your own lifestyle. The banks have been running this playbook for centuries, so now it's time for you to do the same thing.
Right. So once you understand infinite banking, you'll never look at money the same again. You'll have real control over your wealth.
Mm-hmm. So if you are ready to start banking and have more control over your financial freedom, then check out our program, Financial Freedom for Your Whole Life, where we break down the steps so that you can start today.
And hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What's the worst experience you've had with the bank? We want to hear it.
Exactly. So remember to own your own lifestyle.
Or someone else will.